Hello and welcome to Homeschool MBA, where we talk about different management, business, administration topics. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. The agenda today is legal matters and legal issues for managers. I have created a one-page slide which talks about some of the key things that are taught in legal issues for managers class in a typical MBA. We have a definition and some key variables, key takeaways over here. Hey, Professor, how are you doing? Let's talk about legal issues for managers.
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Okay, legal issues for managers is a very important topic because the managers, for the sake of management, they have to deal with different matters. And there is, different ways of managing. The American way of managing is management through legislation. And there are some other countries where management through practices. But I think the management through legislation is the best method to, follow. Now, in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to give overview how to examine legal implications and other considerations with reference to litigation, judicial systems, and their impact on contracts and agreements made by managers for their organizations. So this is overall framework through which we are going to talk. And this can be done through three different levels. Number one, contracts and agreements. Now, managers are managing through either contracts or agreements with their clients. Now, the contracts and the agreements, they include offers that they make to their clients and contract details, risk they take, damages and waivers they include in the contract and the agreements, and of course, consumer protection. Now, when the offers are made, an agreement or contract is signed. Both are legal documents. The managers, some of them, they may not have any legal background. So the managers have access to the legal department of the company where these agreements and contracts are vetted and approved. Now, once they are approved by the legal department or legal advisors or law officers of the company, now the manager is safe to go ahead with these contracts with the clients. Now, they also include the risk that the manager is taking. Now, risk is about supplies, about payments, and about various other things. For that matter, they include damages or waivers and consumer protection. Damages in case the client does not, supply the goods in time, or vice versa, you do not give the, products according to the specifications. So there are always, fines and damages. Similarly, the waivers, that is that if you have a big contract with a client, then you can waive off certain conditions just as a favor. And the most important over here is the consumer protection. So that means the buyer's protection of use of that product. That is, protection is given through warranties and guarantees. So that's how the consumer protection is ensured. And then in case none of these is followed by either of the parties, it becomes part of now, it has to go into kind of judicial system. Now, what is that judicial system? In judicial system, we have three different, levels. Criminal law, that deals with crimes and all that. Civil law and penal code. Now, in case of managers, the applicable judicial system is the civil law. in which you go and the case is filed either by the client or by the manager. And that is called litigation. Now, litigation, if we go straight into litigation, that is not in favor of the company. Before going into litigation, we discussed in earlier lectures that conflict management, where you try to redefine your agreement, redefine your contract with your clients, and by give and take and with certain trade-offs, you come into a new agreement, and which covers the interest of both the companies. And in that talk, we referred it as win-win situation. However, if you do not reach that situation, then you get into litigation. Now, litigation is a very, very expensive option, because if you go into civil courts, it is going to take indefinite time. There are millions of such cases pending in different courts of law in different countries of the world, and for a number of years. Number two, litigation also means that going into arbitration. Now, arbitration is perhaps the easiest way out for, instead of going into litigation, you go into arbitration. And arbitration is that both of the parties, they select one arbitrator, and they agree that whatever decision the arbitrator will make will be binding on them. Now, what the arbitrators will look at is the warranties that you gave them, the product liability or reliability that you promised, and if you made any deceptive trade practices, or you took some actions and your cost is not as per the specifications or as per the offer that you made, that will be decided by the arbitration. So arbitration will, the arbitrators are the companies or consultants or law experts, chartered accountants, whatever the type is, the arbitrators will look at both sides of the picture, your point of view and your client's point of view. And they'll give you a kind of solution which would be win-win solution for both of you. And since you signed this arbitration agreement that the decision by them shall be binding on you, so you come to a decision without going into courts. So that is how the managers can solve their problems, without going into courts or judicial system. And that's, I think, is enough for this topic.
Okay, Professor, couple of questions. I think one thing when I took this class, I realized that, our specifications and our contracts obviously need to be vetted by the legal department. So, as lower level engineers or managers, you understand the importance of the terminology in contracts. From your side of things, how should one think of the legal department as you work in different sections of the company?
Okay, you see, legal department is part and parcel of management. It cannot be separated from the other departments of the company. Like marketing department, like engineering department, like production department, exactly the same way. The law department is part of the company. And it is the company's policy that any agreement or contracts which are signed by the company with their clients shall be vetted by the legal department. And the legal department, they have subject, matter experts, and they are fully informed. Like, for instance, now the world has changed to digital world. New type of businesses have come in. The global, e-commerce has come in, internet has come in, and Facebook has come in, and things like that, WhatsApp, etc., etc. Now the legal department understands the cyber laws, the intellectual property laws, and things like that. Therefore, every manager, before entering into agreement, it may be of any type, must get it vetted by the legal department to protect the interest of the company and the manager's personal protection for not taking any illegal action or an action which can result in loss. That is how you can cover your, official position. Yes.
Okay, one other question. Considering what the world is going through right now, where in these categories or clauses would a disaster statement would come, where you could renegotiate your contract or something just because we have a global pandemic or a disaster right now?
Unfortunately, disasters and calamities like floods and like earthquakes and like COVID, they are not part of, they are not covered even by insurance companies, because there is no, in fact, in all the contracts, it is said that except natural calamities or disasters. So that is the risk that you take, that the strategy that you are going to make, because you sometimes make long-term strategies, and then you, as a manager, you have to foresee what are the risks involved in that. Is there going to be any kind, of course you cannot predict earthquake, but you can always predict floods and the viruses and this, that, and the other, and you have to protect your skin some or the other, but there is no legal coverage so far for these disasters and like COVID and all that.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like and subscribe to all our social media. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much.